Welcome, Danksters, to this week's episode of Intoxicating Justice, drug true crime stories from thedailydank.com. Hey, what's up, my true crime family? You're tuned into Intoxicating Justice, tales of drug true crime, and I'm your host, Brian Brown, coming at you from thedailydank.com, your home for cannabis culture, chaos, and criminal tales from the dark side of the streets. Before we get rolling, I've got to give a huge shout out to our listeners in Russia. According to Apple Podcasts, Intoxicating Justice recently cracked the top 250 true crime podcasts in Russia. That's wild. From Arizona to Moscow, we're building a global crew. So to all our Russian listeners, we see you, we appreciate you, and we'd love for you to join the community. Reach out at thedailydank.com, drop a comment, or hit me up on socials. Let's connect. Now, today's story, it's big, it's global, and it's personal. We're diving into how methamphetamine made in Russia and Eastern Europe is finding its way into the U.S., fueling addiction and crime across the country, sometimes without anyone realizing where it all started. It's a pipeline that flows from Siberian super labs to American small towns, and it's shifting the power structure of the global drug game.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Let's start in Russia, specifically Eastern Russia and Central Asia, where cities like Irkutsk, Novosibirsk, and parts of Ukraine and Kazakhstan became unlikely players in the meth game during the early 2000s. You see, after the fall of the Soviet Union, a lot of highly trained chemists found themselves unemployed or underpaid. Some turned to the only business that paid, black market chemistry. Meth, known locally as Vint or Jeff, became popular in nightclubs and subcultures. But it didn't take long for someone to realize they could do a whole lot more than just supply the local scene. What made Russian meth different was its purity. This wasn't the typical shake and bake batch cooked in a trailer. These were full-on Soviet-trained scientists using pharmaceutical-grade ingredients and industrial equipment, producing meth that could rival or even outmatch the cartels. And once they saw the demand in places like Germany, the UK, and eventually the US, they scaled up quietly, methodically, internationally. Now, I've got to get real for a minute, because for me, this story isn't just headlines or history. Back in the mid-90s, I was part of the meth scene in Mojave County, Arizona. I've talked about this before, and I'll never hide from it. I was addicted, dealing, and eventually did time for it. I've been clean for 28 years now, but some of those memories never fade. There was one night around 1997, we were deep in the desert near Golden Valley, holed up in a busted-out trailer cooking up a batch. One of the guys I was with had a connection from Vegas who claimed he had a new source, some kind of ultra-pure meth, supposedly made by Russian dudes out east. Sounded like street legend stuff at the time, but when that batch showed up, man, it hit different. We weren't ready for it. It was cleaner, faster, more volatile. One guy went into psychosis. Another almost OD'd. The chaos that batch brought changed everything. And just a few months later, I got busted. That was the start of my turnaround. Looking back now, I realize that meth may very well have been part of this new wave. Even then, it wasn't just a local issue. It was global. And it was already infecting small towns like mine with military-grade chemistry.
Are you ready to elevate your cannabis experience? Welcome to thedailydank.com. Your ultimate destination for everything weed, laughs, and good vibes. We're more than just a website. We're a community. A place where cannabis lovers come together to share, learn, and have a blast. Whether you're tuning in for the wild and hilarious, 420 Somewhere podcast, getting your game face on during one of our epic game night live sessions, or waking up to the Wakey Bakey morning show for your daily dose of fun, we've got something for everyone. Dive into our exclusive podcasts, from the spooky to the weird to the downright hilarious. We've got a show for every kind of stoner. We're not just about listening. We want you to join in. Our online meetups and community events give you a chance to connect with fellow dankheads and dive deep into everything cannabis culture. And hey, if you're looking for your people, you've finally found them. The Daily Dank is your home for all things stoner culture, crazy theories, and a whole lot of fun. Join the family today at thedailydank.com. This is more than just a website, it's a lifestyle. That's thedailydank.com.
So how does Russian meth get from the lab to your street? Well, it starts with small-scale labs in Eastern Europe and Russia. These aren't just any labs. These are often tied to criminal networks with big, menacing names like the Russian mob or other post-Soviet syndicates. Now, from these clandestine labs, the meth begins its journey. It moves overland through Ukraine, Belarus, and Poland. You've got these large freight shipments, and the meth is cleverly disguised within them. But it's not always trucks and trains. Sometimes the meth takes to the seas. Container ships carry the drug to Western Europe or North America, hidden inside all sorts of everyday items you wouldn't think twice about. Then we have the high-flying couriers. Picture this, mules carrying pure crystals, hidden in electronics, car parts, even religious artifacts. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill smuggling operations. These are meticulously planned, almost artistic in their execution. Once the meth finally hits U.S. soil, it gets funneled into spots you might not expect. We're not just talking about the border states. Nope. Think places like Minneapolis, Kansas City, the Dakotas, mid-sized cities where meth addiction has quietly seeped in and taken hold. These cities are ideal because they have less DEA activity compared to Texas or California, making them perfect for quieter and more deadly distribution. And then it's time for the final leg of the journey. Biker gangs and small street crews take over. You got outlaw motorcycle clubs like the Aryan Brotherhood moving this military-grade meth across smaller networks. Though these gangs are at the end of the chain, the money and products still trace back to those Eastern European labs. So that's how it happens. A substance that begins in a hidden lab halfway across the world could very well end up on a forgotten street corner in Middle America. The reach is vast, the consequences deadly. Let's talk about the impact that this Russian meth has in the U.S. This isn't just any meth we're talking about. We're seeing a spike in high-purity meth in regions where cartel activity is typically low. That's right. According to DEA reports, places like the Midwest are getting hit hard. The evidence, it's in the lab tests. These tests don't lie. They've revealed that a significant portion of this meth has origins in the Eastern Bloc. We're talking about meth that doesn't fit the profile of the typical Mexican super labs. No, the fingerprinting points back to Russia and Eastern Europe. But it doesn't stop with lab tests. There have been some glaring, almost cinematic moments that confirm this shift. Take Detroit, for instance. Authorities busted a warehouse and found meth with Czech language packaging. Can you believe that? Then there's Allentown, Pennsylvania, where meth bricks stamped with Russian markings were seized. It's like something out of a movie, but it's our reality. So, what does this all mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, it means the global drug market is changing, evolving. We've moved from worrying about backyard meth labs to cartel super labs, and now to transnational supply chains run by players without borders. The dynamics are shifting, and meth's infiltration from the Eastern Bloc is just one part of that larger puzzle.
Welcome to the Healing Center, located at 1400 Needles Highway in the heart of Needles, California, right off the iconic Route 66 and just a stone's throw from the breathtaking Colorado River. But that's not all. Prepare yourself for the ninth wonder of the world, the legendary Wall of Flower. With over 60 brands and strains of top-tier cannabis, you'll be in flower paradise. At the Healing Center, we don't just have the best selection, we offer the lowest prices around. We're proud to be known as the #1 cannabis superstore in all the land, offering the best service, the best deals, and a shopping experience like no other. So, why wait? Come check out the world-famous Healing Center for yourself and see what all the buzz is about. For the latest scoop and hottest deals, head over to thedailydank.com and stay in the know. The Healing Center, where quality meets affordability. Your cannabis journey starts here.
All right, folks, let's break this all down. What does this global meth trade mean for us? And more importantly, what can we do about it? First up, it's crucial to stay aware. Meth is not just a local issue. It's a global problem that requires us to understand its far-reaching impacts. It's no longer just about the next city or state over. The supply chains stretch from Siberia to small-town America. Staying informed helps us tackle the problem at its roots, not just its symptoms. Next, let's talk about the importance of supporting recovery alongside punishment. Law enforcement and crackdowns can only go so far. You see, I'm living proof that people can come back from the edge, but they need the tools and the support to do it. Rehabilitation, education, and community support are just as critical as any police operation. We need to build a system that offers hope and a second chance, not just jail time. Now, this one's personal. If you or someone you know has been affected by meth or any kind of addiction, I urge you to stay connected and share your stories. You are not alone. From Arizona to Russia, meth impacts all kinds of people, and the only way we can understand and tackle it is by hearing from those who have lived through it. Sharing your journey could be the lifeline someone else needs. Head over to thedailydank.com or send me a message. Let's build each other up. And a huge shout out to our Russian listeners. We see you. We hear you. We want to know what's happening in your city and how you're dealing with these issues. Drop me a message and let's get this conversation going. We're building a global community here, one that believes in truth, justice, and second chances. So, folks, stay aware, support recovery, and stay connected. Together, we can tackle this beast and lift each other up. It's not just about fighting meth. It's about building a community that stands for second chances and a better tomorrow. That's a wrap for this global edition of Intoxicating Justice, Tales of Drug True Crime. From Siberia to the States, meth is moving in new ways, and we need to keep our eyes open. We've covered the origins of this meth trade in Eastern Russia and Central Asia, its complex smuggling routes, and its impact on communities across the United States. And hey, you heard my own story from the 90s meth scene in Mojave County, Arizona. This stuff is real, and it's closer than you might think. For more gritty stories, cannabis culture, and raw, real talk, make sure you head over to thedailydank.com. Subscribe to the show, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Let's keep building this community. This has been Brian Brown, 28 years clean, one day at a time, and I'll see you next time on Intoxicating Justice. Stay curious, stay clean, stay dank.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.